this morning, I see more, what do you call it now? Little poem statements. I'm
Well,
grateful.
they're affirmations.
Affirmations, right? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
not too much graphics, optics with other um, things on there. So, yeah, is that what you're going to be covering today? Affirmation, what affirmation is, and so forth and so on.
Yes,
Them.
yes, yes. We are definitely going to talk about what affirmations are. We have been pretty much talking about affirmations. Basically, it's the mechanics behind a thought.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what we're going to do today is just go one step further. We talked about thoughts and how we need to keep our thoughts positive and things like that. So this is a way of I guess redirecting our thoughts. I won't even say redirecting, more like overriding our
Mm.
thoughts and keeping them positive and keeping them positive. That's the main flow.
Mm-hmm.
You got to keep them positive. So with an affirmation, you can just redirect your thoughts and change your life, basically.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what we're going to talk about. So what I got tripped up over was affirmation, the definition of an affirmation. Right now, it's a very trendy phrase. You know, lots of people hear the words, you know, affirmations, chakras, and dieting this and that guru. And, you know, there's all these words buzzing about because we're into, I guess you would call it a spiritual age. This is where people are reaching their spiritual awakening, and they're doing it through their mind, their body, and their soul. And the proof is that people are striving to change their diets. They're striving to live better lives, to be better people. So that's how you know that we're in a spiritual awakening age.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So with an affirmation, basically, like I said, you can redirect your thoughts. So when you say something out loud, it's more or less an affirmation. When you say something like I am, I will, I can, I should, that's a declarating affirmation. And it should always be positive. We make affirmations daily. People say things all the time and don't even realize how much they affirm in their lives. Affirmations don't always have to be positive, and most of the times they're negative. And the proof is when you feel that your life is not going the way that you want it to go, or if a situation doesn't end the way that you want it to end, or you're not feeling good about a particular relationship, check out how you speak about it.
Mm-hmm.
Check out the shade that you throw over it. You know, what do you really say daily? You know, there's some people, they constantly, I think we spoke about this too. They constantly say, oh, I'm broke. I can't go with you guys. I'm broke. Or, oh, I can't do that event. I'm broke. Wish I could go there, but I'm broke. Can't buy that because I'm broke. Those are affirmations. In fact, me saying it 5 times, I'm like in fear right now because I just said those words together, and they're not very good to go together. But people absentmindedly say things, and that redirects their life. It sets a path. It sets their path, and there's where you have that negative downfall. It comes from you. And lots of times, like I said, we're not mindful of the things that we think.
Mm-hmm.
And we can change what we think by setting our minds on an affirmation. The way that we make affirmations work for us is that we have to use them daily. We have to use them almost as often as a bad thought enters our mind. In fact, we have to use them probably twice as much because there's some people that have a lot of negative thinking patterns and lifestyles.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, like I said, this is a way to change them. I think before we spoke about thoughts, that we have anywhere between 50,000 to 70,000 thoughts per day. You know, that's almost like a thought per minute.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine if all day you're thinking negative things. Oh, I got to pay the rent. I don't have enough money. I don't want to keep going on streams of negative thoughts, but, you get the idea.
Sister T, can I just bring a quick news break I'm seeing here? Marriage equality nationwide. 5-4 Kennedy, they ask for equal dignity in the eyes of the law. The Constitution grants them the right. Scalia explodes second straight day. That's news just coming out of the high courts that marriage equality nationwide. Breaking news. Sorry about that.
That's okay. There's things happening every day, all day. And
I was just affirming that story.
Yes. And there's a lot of things happening now, like when you think about it. And it's because of the way that people are now thinking and the way that they're speaking about it as well. We've had to change just about everything. I would say in the last 2 years, more so than anything, there's been a lot of change with people with their health, people with their lives, people with their finances and everything. So back to affirmations. What we want to do with affirmations, like I said, is retrain our thoughts, retrain our mind to think in a more positive way so that we can manifest positive outcomes in our lives. And basically it's a self thing. It's meditation, but it's with action, because you're going to speak it. Remember that I said the thought is the concept, that's the seed. And then the speaking it gives it a little bit of life, and the speaking it lends you the power to make it an action. And then from the action, you manifest whatever the thought was. So we have to control that middle part very carefully, the speaking, the declaring, the affirming, and what we say and how we manifest the thing. So basically what you would do is make a list, if you could. Some people don't even know what their negative thoughts are. But think about things that people have said to you negatively that hurt you throughout time, or things that you may have said about yourself, or things that you feel that you lack in terms of your characteristics. Like if you want a better job, if you feel that you're not skilled in it, you may constantly throughout the day, say things like, oh, the job is no good, or the people around are no good. Those are affirmations, but they have nothing to do with getting you to a place where you can be happy at your job, or even to a job where you're happy. You follow me? You there?
But I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you.
Okay. So what you would do basically is I recommend for someone who's starting out to make 2 lists. The first list would be a list of things, like I said, that either people say negatively to you, or things about yourself that you may want to change or see improvement in. And then you would make another list of positive things that you feel about yourself, compliments that you may have heard people say to you, mm-hmm. or even a goal where what you would want to hear. Mm-hmm. And then you can blend those 2 lists by making sure that you have just about a positive thought or positive statement for everything that you wrote negative, almost to cancel it out, almost to rule it out. So that if you had a childhood of someone constantly saying that, you were a lazy person, you'll never amount to anything. So you have those in your negative list. But to yourself, you're a real go-getter. You may be misunderstood, or you may not, you might need more training. Mm-hmm. And so then you can, put on there that you want to gain more training. You need to increase your speed. Anything that's going to counteract the negative and make you feel better. You want to turn those negatives into goals, into positives. So that what you do is you start by, like I said, looking at the 2 things to see what it is that you want to change, what in your life. If it's you want to make more money at your job, it could be something simple as that. You want to live in a different neighborhood. You want to bring your children to a different school zone. It can be anything. Mm-hmm. It doesn't always have to be anything, like intimately personal. It could be something for your family.
Mm-hmm.
But as long as it's a negative thing that you want to change, or it doesn't even have to even really be negative. It could be something that's good now that you want to be better in.
Now, what if there are forces? You're experiencing some negative thing. You want to turn that around. You want to create doors of opportunity, and there are forces working against you to make that happen. So what do you and it's not really happening in a timely manner. What do you do? Do you get the frustration level kicks in, and it gets worse? How do you handle a situation like that?
Well, there's where the affirmations come in. First, you would have to get an affirmation to counter it. Basically, it's an empowering statement. Let's say the force is, okay, I'll use an example. As you're at a job and you want to move up. Now, you've been at this job for 3-4 years, and the position opens up. And there's two people that have a cousin or, an uncle they want to put in that position, but you've earned that position and you've been there, this job with your eyes closed, something like that, right?
Yeah.
So now you want to move up because you need more money so you can, pay your bills, move your family into a nicer area, kids into a better school zone. So there's all these forces. How would you combat that? Is that what you're asking, like a situation like that?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah, and that's a common situation, believe it or not. And what you would do is you would make a list of affirmations. Make a list just like that. I am qualified for this job, because somewhere in your mind you're going to start to doubt yourself because you start measuring up. Here's where the universal laws come in of comparing. You're going to say, well, these two here, they know the boss. I don't know if I can combat them. I don't know this other person. Maybe I'm not. I have been in this position for the last 4 years. Maybe I'm not worth it. Mm-hmm. But what you do is you start to make a list, and that list becomes positive. I have been at this job for 4 years. I know this job like the back of my hand. I am very skilled, very knowledgeable. I have worked with the boss for several amounts of years. You don't even have to have a whole amount, a whole long list of affirmations. It could just be one thing, something so powerful as I deserve this position, period. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And state it with confidence, state it with conviction. And once you start to state it, your mind will begin to believe it. The more you state it, share it with someone. Go home, share it with your spouse. I deserve that job. Don't go home and say, oh, I don't know, maybe not. Those are the things that speak doubt and fear and lack. Those are the words. I don't know, can't, won't, maybe, don't, shoulda, woulda, coulda, if only. Those are all words of doubt. So you want to speak it out loud. But with an affirmation, you can just, when you wake up in the morning, I use 40 times, I use 40 days. They say 30, they say, some people say 21 days to get it for your mind to hold. I go for 40 because it's longer than 30. And even beyond that, you can have it be an affirmation for the rest of your life. When I wake up, my mind is on go. My mind is on automatic pilot, but the things I think about are not the regular things. So when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I say is, oh my goodness, I'm so grateful to wake up. And then I'm like, I love my kids. I love this day. And then if I look out the window, depending on how it looks, I'll pick an adjective for that day. If it's cloudy, I say, wow, it's going to be a productive day. You know what I'm saying? Those are my types of affirmations at this point. But before I got to that stage, I had to be grateful for the day. So I will wake up and just say 40 times, I'm so grateful for today. I am 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 so grateful for today. And as I'm saying this, I'm thinking of things that I'm actually grateful for today. I'm so grateful for today. I'm going to get to see my kids. I'm so grateful for today. I'm going to get to see the other kids that I take care of. I'm so grateful for today. I may help someone. And so these are affirmations. You're training your brain. You're feeding your brain this information. Your brain only knows what it hears and what it sees.
No, no. Let me ask you this though. In the case of the saying versus doing, and maybe that's what you're just affirming to me here. If you keep saying it, eventually you will start to do it. Because I was going to ask the question: if you just keep on saying the thing and don't make the move to get the end results that you would like to get, aren't you going to be saying that for the next never, rather than going out there and doing it?
Yes, true. And that's why an affirmation, it has to be a set thing. It's preferable that you do it twice a day. You have to do it in the time where you can concentrate, preferably, even if it's in your car on the way to work or whatever it is, so that you train your brain first. And at first, it may take some people some time to get from the saying to the doing. Mm-hmm. But you got to say it first and then believe it. And then you'll get to the doing. Most people don't get to the doing part because as they're saying it, they're backing up with maybe 5 negative thoughts. Mm-hmm. So that they're doing the lip service, but the thoughts are still not being changed. So that this is the process of changing the thoughts. And it takes time. It doesn't happen overnight for everyone. For some people, they do it and it catches on. But that also goes along with the learning style. Those people might learn better from hearing things, you know what I'm saying? So that you can even write the affirmations. They say that that's even a good way to do it. So you write it down. I am so grateful for today, or I deserve this job on your lunch break or on your break. I deserve this job. I deserve that position. I deserve that position. I deserve that position. Write that 40 times and then stop. At the end of 40 times, you're going to feel something. You can't not say it and write it and not feel something in your body.
Yeah, and that ties in with what Claude M. Bristol said. Claude M. Bristol said, it's the repetition of affirmation that leads to belief. And once that belief becomes a deep conviction, things begin to happen.
Exactly, because your brain starts to believe it, and there's where you start to move it. And that's why I said we hear and we make affirmations all day long. Mm-hmm. Whether they're positive or negative, that is the deciding factor of whether things will manifest positively or negatively. And unfortunately, for us, this generation, we came from a lot of negative affirmations. We came from a negative culture. There was a lot of doubt, a lot of fear instilled in us, a lot of lack, a lot of, you know what I'm saying? And they're still doing it. You got to get this now or you won't get it. They instill that fear, that lack, that doubt. That's how they control the masses. But we're breaking away from it now. People are starting to understand the whole.
Mm-hmm. And as you went through that explanation, what I remember was this kid I was telling you guys for the past couple of weeks in Jamaica, up to the age of 12 and 13. He was set aside as a problem child. He will not get anywhere. He can't read and so forth. But then he probably started to tell himself over and over, I can get there. I can do better. I will do better. And they sent him into a high school and people was jeering him, mocking him. And guess what? Today he's a first-year law student at UA and has applied for one of our Palace scholarships. So,
And he exactly employed those methods.
Right.
Some people do it without even knowing that they're doing it. And that's why I said we're right now, our generation loves to put labels on everything. Affirmations are even found in most of the religions. The Catholics do it, Mm-hmm. They have their novenas, mm-hmm. Where they do their prayers. Sometimes they do it in blocks of 9. They may do it every 9th hour or every 9 minutes or every 9 days, whatever it is. But they say the same prayer over and over, whatever it is that they're praying for until it comes true. Mm-hmm. Or for 9 days, they do it in blocks of 9. But it's the same thing. It's that retraining your brain to think a certain way, to believe a certain thing. Mm-hmm. And you can do it with almost anything, weight loss, with a job. Let's go back to the job example. So you want that position. The first thing that happens with the average person is that they might say, yeah, I do deserve the job. But then the negative thoughts take place And even though they said I deserve that job, the negative thoughts are like, yeah, you know what? I don't like these people. I don't know. They seem sneaky. Something fishy's going on. I can't trust them. And then you start to act according to those thoughts. Not to the thought of you deserve the job. You start to act on those thoughts. So you know what? Now you become unworthy of the job because now the boss is looking at you like, what's going on? Because now you're acting suspicious because those are the thoughts that are ruling you. You've allowed those thoughts, even without a voice or sometimes with a voice, because when you go and speak to your coworker or to your spouse, you don't go and say, I deserve that position and back it up with other positive affirmations. The average person is going to say, I deserve that position. And you know what? Those sneaky sons of a guns, blah, 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 blah. And you're going to dig yourself deeper into the ditch. And like I said, your body is going to act according to those thoughts because those are what are prevalent. So what you want to do is, if you really feel like you deserve that position, write 40 times on your break, I deserve that position. I deserve that position. I deserve that position. Start to believe and feel that you deserve that position. Your body will take on the persona of the position and you will act according to. And there's no way that they can look at you and not say, you know what, they really are worthy of the position. Or if you don't get chosen for the position, it wasn't for you. You don't need to work among those people that can be that unethical.
Yeah, well said, well said. All right, folks, it's 55 minutes on the after the hour, and we're speaking with the one and only Empress T with the thing we call high frequency. She.
You are listening to RBN, Rule Grounds Network.
You know, as you're speaking, I'm trying to, evaluate myself and see where do I lie in terms of some of the things you're saying. I'm generally a confident person, right? And so one of my thing is anything I set out to do, I always tell myself it's going to work out, because I make sure I do the analysis up front and I put in the work to make it happen. And
yes, and
yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm just agreeing. Yes, that's part of it. Yes.
Yeah. So I think in general, an individual, whatever it is they want to get, done or to accomplish, I think the key thing, like you said, is tell yourself, I'm going for a positive outcome, a positive results. Now, what do I have to do to make it happen? And for me, it seemed like, because over years, that's the way I've operated. So it seemed like for me, I don't necessarily go into that repetitious thing you talk about for the affirmation. But for others who are having doubts, who are having struggles with certain things, you're saying that's what they need to do.
I'm saying that's what they can do. I don't know what anyone needs to do. I don't want to be that one that's like, you better, da-da-da-da. I'm just showing you ways that you can, flip the script a little bit. Things that have worked for me. Like I said, I don't use affirmations every day, all the time anymore. Right. But there's some times when I have a project that, there's something, a mini goal that I want, and I want to amp it up. To me, it's like magic. I call it magic because it's like a spell. I come home and I say, okay, now I need to achieve this goal. And I say to myself, what do I need really? Because that's the other thing. Sometimes we cloud our goal prepping with unnecessary steps. You know what I'm saying? With unnecessary steps, and there's where you get the distractions, and then you veer off the path. Like I said, with the person with the job, they'll start looking at the people outside of them, around them, and not within. So that it's not I deserve the job, and then you're looking at yourself to see where you can improve, but rather you're looking outside of what's going on.
Yes, indeed.
So for you, it's easy. It's become a way of life. But somewhere along the line, your brain was either trained, whether it was positive nourishing from your grandmother or whatever it was, somewhere along the line, you were mentally fed and emotionally fed enough positive seeds that's what flourished. And like I said, unfortunately, in this generation, a lot of people didn't get that. not because it wasn't available, but a lot of our parents weren't even aware. They were caught up in the hoopla of what was going on too. You know, we're growing up in dynamic times. They were the first generation of TV. They were able to drink and party. You know, we talk about our parents fondly, my sister and I, you know, about how much they enjoyed life. But they were going through a lot of changes too, and unfortunately, we as kids sometimes were forgotten. You know, or cast aside because they wanted to do something. Go sit down, be quiet. You're too stupid. You're this. You're that. You're too slow. You're lazy. You know what I'm saying? The things that they may have heard. A lot of those words come from slavery times, laziness and all that stuff. Nobody is really lazy. Everybody does things in their own pace. You know, so with positive affirmations, you can change anything, even with weight. Some people have issues with their weight. Like I said, this is a time, if any time to do anything for yourself, physically, mentally, or spiritually, is now. We are in a spiritual awakening time. So everyone's auras are on high speed, high level, just high energy. So this is the time. Tap into it. If you want to lose weight and you say, oh, I can't do it, I've tried everything, that's negative thinking. Say out loud, I can lose the weight. I can lose the weight. You could say that for 40 days straight, or you can say, I will lose the weight each day when you wake up. Give yourself 5 or 10 minutes in the morning, 40 times. Either write it, say it, I will lose the weight. 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 Or I will eat healthy. I will eat healthy. Some people think they need to lose weight. They might not need to lose weight. They might just need to eat healthy. So whatever's going to work and click in your mind, you say that. I say stick with it for 40 days. They say, why 40? Why 30? Why 21? I say 40 because most of the people that I followed my training, that I did the training with, they went along with 40 because of religious reasons. Christianity has a thing with numbers. You know, in the Bible, the 40 thing runs in the Bible. The 40 days it rains, right? The 40, right?
Yeah.
40 days for Lent and things like that. So that's a good judge of whether or not it'll stick. But to me, if it works, keep doing it. 40 days might not be enough. Why stop if it works? You can alter it. You can modify your affirmation at any time. But the point is to be aware that, you know, that we make affirmations every day in our regular speech with people. And so that we have to take a time where we take control of what we're saying, not just what we're thinking, what we're saying, so that we can generate positive thoughts.
All right, it's folks.
You are listening to RBN, Rule Grounds Network.
It's 11 o'clock here in Atlanta. We're speaking live to Empress T with high frequency, speaking about affirmation. Affirmation.
Yes, and so like you see the affirmations I sent you a bunch of slides that are just, you know, things that people can just pick and say. The one you're showing now, I am fit, healthy, and attractive.
Yeah.
For someone who doesn't feel, you know, there's a lot of people, we're caught up in the media age. You know, we got to look a certain way. Everybody doesn't look like that. You know what I'm saying? We can't eat the food that they want us to buy and look the way that they want us to look. It just doesn't work.
You know, each week you present these different subtopics, whatever. And I'm just wondering if many of these young kids out there, when I say young kids, anyway, even starting off early, if their parent need to really drill it in their heads.
Well, the fortunate thing for these young kids nowadays is that they're hearing it a lot more.
Okay.
Because as the parents are getting aware of it, they're hearing it now at home and seeing it on the internet. You can't go on the internet now. You can't go on Facebook without seeing some of these affirmations. People see positive things. I mean, there's a lot of negative things too, but it's out there. It's in the air. It's like this is what people want to do now. Everybody wants to feel good. If you're not speaking positive, people are looking at you like, like you're talking a different language now. It's the language. It's the language. And then, like you said about the parents, so that the parents now who are having babies, they're bringing them up in this age, this culture of spiritual awareness. They're starting them out in the womb now. They're talking to their babies. They're saying positive things to their babies before they come out.
Yes.
So that when the babies come out, they're born into, an environment of stability, of safety,
Yeah.
They're coming out grounded.
Let me say welcome to 25th Century in the chat room. Also to Mr. Mr. Patrick in Box Video Group.
Good morning.
That's his new name, Mr.
Yeah. He's gonna call. You should call.
Yeah.
But those are the things and a lot of times, like I said, our generation doesn't have the capability of thinking positive on our own. We might say something, oh yes, I'll lose the weight, but then the following thoughts of, not really, I don't know, I'll start next week, or I can't, it doesn't work for me. Then you see somebody pass by that you think looks fit, and then you snowball from there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so
No, go ahead. Sorry, finish your thoughts.
Yeah, so you never get to see if you will. The trick is to stick with it. If you can do the 40 days, that's good, 40 times. If you miss a day, start over. You have to do 40 consistent days. Say it 40 consistent times. If in the middle of you saying your affirmation, like here's one that you have up, I can handle anything that comes into my life. If you start your day with that, there is no way that you can end the day feeling like you were defeated or like you couldn't handle something, because you already proclaimed, you declared, you affirmed first thing in the morning, I can handle anything that comes into my life. I can handle anything that comes into my life. If you say that 40 times in the morning before you before you get up, that's going to be impressed upon your brain, and you have to act accordingly. And if something does come up and you feel yourself getting stressed, whip out an affirmation. I can handle anything that comes into my life. I can handle anything. You don't have to say it out loud. You can mumble it. But the reason why I want you to put a voice or mumble a physical action to it is so that it commits. The thought is not enough. You need to have it commit. And when you speak it, it commits. That's why they tell you be careful what you say.
What happens if you record it on your phone and play it back 40 times? They're different?
Same thing. Same thing. As long as you hear it, it's feeding yourself. It's emotional food. It's like a snack. Some people get snacks. Well, snack on this. You know what I'm saying? Snack on that. If you're feeling bored, snack on an affirmation.
Snack on
If you're bored, I'm going to get a better job. 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 You understand what I'm saying? You laughing at me?
No.
I know.
I just thought of something. Me going into the store next door at Publix and walking up and down the aisle saying, I'm going to get some food. I'm going to get some food.
But see, and those are the people that gain weight. Because that's their affirmation.
Yeah.
Look what they're affirming.
Yeah.
I'm hungry.
So, but I love this, man, because the thing is, next time I go into the store, I usually get this thing called scones, and I mean, they're not supposed to be good for you. I need to go in and say, I'm not going to get in scones. I'm going to get some broccoli.
No, you can have your scones, but you can say, I am fit and healthy. I'm going to be healthy. I want to be healthy. And then that will overrule any of your decisions of what you eat.
Yeah.
Because the healthy is what's going to take precedence over what, over your decisions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Got to empower ourselves. Got to feel empowered. Everybody can't do hypnosis. They can't pay for that kind of stuff. Everybody can't go to a psychiatrist. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? So these are just like little tips that we can do to help empower ourselves. And like I said, this is a spiritual time. Tap into that energy. If you want to do anything, this is the time. This is the time.
How about group getting together? Say an individual struggling to really bring some of these affirmation to reality, and if they say, well, you know something, I should probably hook up with Empress T and Patrick and get in a group. Maybe three, four of us may help each other. Does stuff like that make sense?
Yes, it does. In fact, you can even do like one-on-one. It doesn't even have to be on a group. It can be one-on-one. And the reason why I say that is because let's say you have a lot of negative thoughts and thought patterns from childhood. Maybe you had an overbearing parent that was very negative, whether it was the mom or whether it was the dad that just fed you negative comments all day long, negativity, negativity, negativity. You can find someone, a male or female, depending on which parents presented you with the most negativity, and have them read back your affirmations to you so that you hear it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that you hear it. And by that, you're overriding the old thoughts and the old criticisms that you heard as a child. They're replacing them almost. You know what I'm saying? It's like giving, flipping that script, like I said. Sure, and a group is excellent.
Mm-hmm. All right, folks.
Even to do it in a group, because it amplifies the voice, the power, and the feeling of it, the sentiment. Woo, that would be so powerful to do that. And in a sense, like any group that gets together does affirmations. We hear the Ruler Brown Network. That's a group. And we make certain affirmations, too. When you talk about Palace and you keep saying it and you play those
essays.
The videos, the messages, and you read those letters. Those are like affirmations. You are affirming the power of Palace and what it can do and what it means. Every time you speak on it, it affirms it, it affirms it, affirms it.
Good point. Good point. I understand. Folks, if you'd like to call in and chime in with Empress T, the number here is 770-744-2154. If you want to call in and say, Empress T, I'm affirming what you're saying. I am disavowing anything you're saying. Whatever. If you want to make a comment, suggestion, question, if you want to be a you can call in.
Or if you want help with something and you want to figure out what would be a good positive affirmation, you don't really quite understand what we mean, what an affirmation is, you can call in or you can ask in the chat room. It's basically any statement that you can make that is positive and empowering, that will change the way that you live or think about an idea or an event.
No, you use the word positive. Could you, on the other hand, could you have an affirmation with a negative thing you want? Like you want, I don't know, like I'm playing cricket. If I'm out there playing cricket and this guy's beating the ball, and I'm saying, I want this guy to come out. I want this guy to be out. Can an affirmation be coined with a negative outcome?
It can. However, because of the universal laws of nature, who might get out is you. Because while you concentrating on him getting out, he flipped you and tripped you and you fell and broke your head, while you got distracted trying to, get to him. Yeah. What you could do in that case is just keep affirming, we're going to win, we're going to win, we're going to win, we're going to win, we're going to win.
Okay, we're going to win.
And that's basically what a team does. When they do that pep rally before they go, that's like an affirmation. That's like a declaration, a group affirmation. You know what I'm saying? Let's go, let's fight.
Yeah, wow. Let me see. Anything in the chat room you want to expound on?
I don't know. Everyone is saying good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Yeah, they're awestruck. They're awestruck with what they're hearing, and trying to probably reflect on their lives as to, what it all means. A positive, it's an affirmative, a positive, non-negated sentence or cause. Yeah.
Yes, and see, Keith Anthony said, "I am." If you want to know if you're making an affirmation, listen to your I am comments. Anything that you start with I, listen to carefully what you're going to say after you say I. Listen to it carefully.
Someone is calling. A person who's calling, please call the number 770-744-2154 rather than my cell phone. See another video message coming in. Yes,
Yeah,
for,
listen to what you say when you say I am. But the practice of using affirmations, like I said, is when you wake up in the morning, wake up 5 or 10 minutes earlier, lie down in your bed, and just tell yourself, make that statement that I can handle anything that comes my way. I can handle anything that comes my way. I can handle anything. Say it 40 times. And like what I was going to say is if you find yourself get distracted and you start thinking about things, try to remember what it was that distracted you. Because as you're saying it, your mind is playing a little video of things, scenarios that it thinks that you can't handle. This is how smart and intelligent the mind is. You know, the subconscious and the conscious mind are some wondrous machinery going on here. So while you're saying I can handle anything that faces that comes my way, your brain is trying to find some things that you can't handle.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And so as you're saying it might throw something up. It might throw in that coworker, an image of the coworker, and then you start thinking about the coworker and what they said and what you're going to say, and then you're thrown off. You stopped at 27. You know what I'm saying? You didn't get to the 40 because now you're thrown off with that thought. You know what I'm saying? Of the coworker. So you got to go back to the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And get through the 40, because if you can't get through the 40, how are you going to get through the day? How are you going to face whatever comes your way? So training your brain.
We have a call. Hello, caller.
Yeah.
Morning, Mr. Yeah.
Good morning, Empress. Good morning, Ruler.
Morning. Empress?
Westman.
Wow, it looked like
We lost Empress? Can't lose the Empress.
Yeah, well, hopefully she calls back. I think when I clicked the wrong button. There's a button you can click to conference, which means you'll join the three of us. And we've done this many times. Yeah, and I think what happened, there was another call coming in at the same time your call was coming in, and I think it threw me off. That affirms that if you click the wrong button, you get the wrong outcome. So what's going on? Empress T, call back please, and we'll just add you back on the line. Sorry about that, Empress. All right, here she comes. All right, add to the group. Yeah, Empress. Hello, Empress.
That affirms.
Yes, I'm back.
Yeah, what? No,
all right.
Empress,
beautiful.
Yeah, I made a mistake. I made a boo-boo there. I clicked the wrong button. So glad you're back.
That's all right.
We're glad you're back on. Yeah, Mr.
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Yeah. Mr. Yeah. What do you have for Empress? Go ahead, sir.
Well, it's morning, Empress. How are you, love?
Morning, Patrick. Morning. I love your comment. I love your comment in the chat room.
Oh, in the chat room. Yeah, that's what I was called to speak on. So,
okay.
I have my daughter, Super K, that you hear on Sunday mornings, do affirmation every morning before we go to school. So she says the Lord's Prayer, and after she finished the Lord's Prayer, she says, I know I can be who I want to be. If I work hard at it, I'll be where I want to be. I am in charge of my success and failure. I will not quit on myself. My name is Kayla, and I am smart, and I am successful. And that's the way we leave the house every morning.
And that is so empowering. And that's what we need to do for ourselves. That's the most empowering thing that you can do. So that any challenge that she faces during the day, that's what comes up. That's what's in her thought bank, not anything negative that other kids normally hear. You know, you're worthless, you're lazy, these grades are no good, you'll never be as good as this one or that one. And so that's it. That's it exactly.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It starts with the I am, and it has to be something positive, not I hope, not I wish, not I may be, but yes. And the younger, the better. I am just really thrilled about what is going on, the spiritual awakening movement. I have no doubt that our children will take great charge of the world and fix what is wrong and take very good care of us. I'm really looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
We have empowered them in ways that we weren't empowered before, and in the schools they used to pledge allegiance to the flag, which I guess on a national sense is good because you want people to be nationals. You want them to feel pride for where they live, and at that time that was important. But now more and more schools have also added in affirmation that they do over the loudspeakers now. And these are just ways that, that we empower our youth. Like I said, we have to start from the beginning. A lot of us didn't get this training, and it's not too late. It's never too late.
Mm-hmm.
Never too late.
So here's one for you, Rula. This is the one that I do for both my business and also the radio station.
Mm-hmm.
I have a wonderful business that works in a wonderful way. I provide a wonderful service for a wonderful pay. That's the affirmation that I personally use for my business. And now that I'm the young cat in the radio business, but that's the affirmation I use.
Now, how long now have you been applying that affirmation?
I've been applying that affirmation to my business for maybe a good 2 years now, on and off.
2 years. Now the question.
2 years.
2 years.
When you say on and off, can you explain so that people understand?
I'm never. Of course, we would want to be more consistent. I'm not as consistent as I would want to, but what I do is, the kids keep your feet to the fire. So if I'm leaving the house and Kayla doesn't say her affirmation, she's tugging on me, Daddy, we can't leave. We got to do this. So when she does her affirmation, I follow it up with mine.
Mm-hmm.
But normally when I started, I did my affirmation 3 times for the day, and now sometimes I'll miss a day or two, but it's within the week. I try to at least get it in there at least 20 times for the week.
But do you find, Patrick, that the times when you aren't doing it, it's because you're more living out what you've already affirmed, so that they're
actually, yes.
Because for me, I know that, like I said, I don't do them every day, but that's because my thoughts, those are my general thoughts now, so that I no longer have to set aside a time to have one particular thought. All of my thoughts are positive, and all of my thoughts are affirming. So that don't see it as because the first thing it says, oh, we're not diligent, we're not. No, don't. It's never anything bad. It's because at those times you got it. You have fed yourself enough of the emotional positive energy that during those times that's what you're living off of. And because you know how it feels, when you start to run low, that's when you start to use your affirmations again.
Yeah, one of the things that I also realize, if I stop for a couple of days, normally what motivates me is when I see my business is client driven, and whenever my client falls off, my client base falls off, of course it reflects in the finance, and then I'll say the affirmation, and within hours, not even days, sometime within hours, out of the blue, I'll get a call, and I'm like, oh my God. Okay.
Hey, Patrick.
And of course, I attribute that. I attribute it to the affirmation because, sometimes I'll get, again, client-driven business, I'll get, 10 clients coming in today. And then I won't get any clients coming in for the rest of, for the next 3 weeks to a month.
Mm-hmm.
As you focus in on those 10, that you got. But it's like magic. It taps you immediately into the frequency. And that's what I want people to really understand, how potent it is. Some people laugh, and say, oh, my God. My kids, they say, oh, my God, here she goes. But I can remember a time when one son would write a list of what he wanted for Christmas, and another one would go and cut out the pictures. He cut out the pictures and put it in an envelope. And it's just like, this is the things I want. You understand what I'm saying? So that they're laughing, but they're doing it.
For a vision board, yeah.
You know,
and that's another form of affirmation. So that's why I gave you some rules for people to read and see. If you can't come up with any on your own, come up with a picture. Maybe there's a house you want to live in. Maybe there's a job you want. Maybe there's a position you want. Take a picture of the uniform. Look at it. Concentrate on it.
You know, Patrick, before you mentioned what you did, one of the questions I was going to ask you, have you employed a way of measuring, taking metrics of, from the time you started, with affirmation, and see if you're able to measure the kind of relationship between the results and what you're saying. And you've basically said, you've basically confirmed, because you've said that there are times when you don't do it, things gets lean, and then when you get back on the affirmation, you see the difference in a positive sense.
Yeah, almost immediately. Almost immediately. Not only that, the thing is, whatever you put your mind to, it's like the spirit is just there waiting to open up the doors.
Right.
So if you, as Granny would say, wishy-washy, meaning you ifing and button, or if the scripture you say lukewarm, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're lukewarm in your way, then you're not gonna really get what you want, because then you're confusing your spirit. You're confusing your spirit that's in front of you, looking to open up doors. So today you want this, then tomorrow you change, you want that. So the spirit is in a standstill, like, okay, make up your mind, let me know what you want, and then I'll give that to you.
Right.
Like, for instance, let me put this out there. I made mention that I want to get out of New York. Mm-hmm. And of course, the weather changed, and it's like, boy, New York are the best place today. I run to Florida. Look how nice the weather, nice. Everybody, though, in Atlanta, I think you guys have 100 degrees. It's a comfortable 79, 80-something degrees with a nice little wind. When I leave New York, go. Right. And, I'm looking.
But see, Patrick, the thing is that the goal can't be, that's what I was saying about the goal, the affirmation can't be about the weather. It has to be something real, so that
exactly.
No matter what happens, you won't deter. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Well, hold on though. But I'm lukewarm on the matter. Yes, no, yes, no, and then all of a sudden, out of the blue, I'm getting a call from someone down in Florida. Yo, if you're really serious, we got a 4-bedroom home, 2 bathrooms, swimming pool. $100,000. It's not going to stay on the market. It's somebody that I know that's getting rid of it. The value of the property is $250, but if you want it, it's $100,000. And I'm sitting with my mouth wide open, like,
So
okay.
Are you packing, Patrick?
Dude, I'm in Florida right now. What are you talking about? Mentally, physically, I'm still in New York. Mentally, I'm sitting poolside in Florida right now.
Wonderful. Yes, yes.
So, yeah.
And see, the other thing about that is, with the universal laws too, is that sometimes you only get those opportunities once. You don't know when it'll come back. So that if you set out an affirmation or a prayer, some people call them prayers, whatever it is. I say affirmations because it's purposeful, it's intentful. It's a 40-day thing. It's a 40-time thing. It's a regimented thing. So that when I say affirmations, that's what I'm talking about. But when you pray for something and it's offered to you, because of the way the universe is and the frequencies and how they go, you don't know when you're going to get that prayer answered. Sometimes, like Patrick said, it's within the first 5 minutes. Sometimes it's not for the first 5 years. But whenever it does come, you have to be ready because you asked for it. And also in the same token that you ask for in between time. And by that, I mean with your thoughts. If you change your thoughts and thought, with the negative harping, that comes into play too. And those negative things will also occur.
Here's a test that you could do, Ruler. Think of a vehicle, and this is something that I've seen happen with me quite often, okay? So here's a test that everyone that's listening can do. Think of a vehicle that you haven't seen in a while or, you would like to drive. And seriously imprint it upon your subconscious that you want this vehicle. It's a vehicle you haven't seen in a while, and then go outside, and then for the next week, see if you don't see that vehicle show up in front of you. Remember, this is a vehicle that I was looking at getting a vehicle. I needed a new car, and I saw this Volvo X90, which is a mini truck.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking, and I'm like, I didn't know Volvo make a truck.
Mm-hmm.
I know them to make a car. I didn't know they made a truck. And I'll call my kids over there. Everyone is like, yeah, we like it. We should get it. And I'm like, I called the dealer up. I'm like, I need this vehicle. He told me what was wrong with it, not to get it. And this is a vehicle that's been in the market now for maybe 15, 20 years. And I have never, ever seen this vehicle. But the minute I made up my mind that this is the vehicle that, the family was going to get, the next day I go out and the vehicle that stopped at the light in front of me was this X90.
Oh, yeah.
And to this day, I moved to a new location and the neighbor next door changed his vehicle and now he's driving the X90.
Yeah.
But see, that's the energy you put out there. That's that frequency.
Exactly. So everyone try that. Just think of a vehicle. Don't go too fancy the Excalibur so and so. Just think of a common vehicle that you have not seen in a while that you would love to own or anything.
You can actually apply it to anything that you want.
And see if it doesn't show up. It will.
Yeah. And it has no choice to, because you are intensely thinking about it, and that's the whole point of it. And then if you talk about it to someone, you've added more power. So there's where, like I said, with the affirming, the talking comes into play, and that's the middle part in between the manifesting, the actual happening of what you want. So you have to be careful what you say.
What you say, that's the reason why in the scripture they say life and death is in the tongue, because your words are that powerful. See, in the beginning, the Creator says, "Let there be light," and then there was light. So we are a smaller manifestation of God, wherein your words brings forth the energy and brings forth what it is that you're looking for.
Yes,
so
the
these things, wealth and health and all of these things is around us, but I consider it sitting in our blind spot. And until you access that blind spot, like literally going in and taking it out, it's kind of, Ruler, you're driving down the street, you're looking in front of you, so it's like you're looking at what's in front of your nose.
Right.
And with the way our society is right now, we are so caught up with, trying to make the money, trying to get this right, the school, the this, the that. So the only thing you are focusing on is directly what's in front of you. So you're like a racehorse with blinders on. You can't see anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
for the most of us,
everything is very surface, superficial.
Superficials. For most of us, we can access what's in the mirror, the side mirrors. But you literally have to take the energy to turn your head to look in your blind spot if you're going to switch a lane, right? So what the affirmation does is actually aligns you with your blind spot, wherein you can now, riches and everything is around us. So, all you have to do is open your mouth and talk, because I don't know what Empress T knows and what she brings to the table and who she knows. I don't know who Ruler knows, but I tell you what, if I call up Ruler and say, yo, brethren, may I look for send some money go to Jamaica for help out at school, what is the best way to go about it? Guess what? Ruler going to have some intelligent, insightful information to give me that if I didn't open my mouth and ask, it wouldn't become apparent to me.
True.
So that's one of the issues with us. We need to open up our mouth and put it out there what it is that we want and affirm it. And then all of a sudden, it's like watering a plant. All of a sudden, you just see what you thought was a barren ground. You just start seeing these leaves and roots and sprouts start coming up out of nowhere, out of nothing.
Absolutely.
And it's not so much that we don't talk. It's what we choose to talk about.
It's what we choose to talk about.
And that's the thing, because we're doing a lot of gum flapping. There's a lot of gum talking. There's a lot of gums talking, but it's what they're talking about. I see SWA came back, and yes, ladies, we did speak about writing down the affirmations, because for some people, that is what is going to be empowering for them, so that it's still an act. The idea is that you want to link the thought with a physical act, so that you give it power, so that you give it energy. so that when you're speaking it, you're giving it the energy, life. You're giving it some life, the in-between stage before the manifestation. Some people have affirmation journals, and there you can see, you know, where you were at a certain time, how long it took you till you reached your goal, and then you can gauge pretty much how long it takes you to reach your goal. And I will tell you this, the first time that anyone does it is going to seem like an eternity because it's all new. But the more you do it and the more you apply it, it just becomes a way of life, so that you're no longer using the, quote, affirmations, but you just live a positive existence. Everything you do keeps you on the frequency that you're supposed to be, so that if you think of something, immediately it shows up. You don't even have to say it anymore, anything that you speak of. And that's how lots of times I go outside. I can't go outside because my thoughts are like literally manifest right before me. And it could be the silliest thing. That's why I said, Patrick, it can be anything. And I, you know, have a random thought and chuckle. And as I'm chuckling, this thing is manifesting in front of me. So, you know, it's that powerful for me at times. And I just wanted to, you know, to share that with people and have them also feel that same empowering. You can use it for anything. If you're grieving, you know, if you've lost a lot of people, you can say, you know, I will make new friends. You can wake up and tell yourself 40 times, I will make new friends. I will make new friends. So I am a worthy friend. I am a great friend. I am a, you know what I'm saying? I'm a long life friend. And see how many people come up to you today, because you're going to give off that aura of friendliness, opposed to, oh, yes, I'm so sad. I miss my this. I miss my that. You give off an aura. The heart generates energy that we can't measure without scientific instruments, but we measure it in each other's hearts. Like our heart to heart, you can feel someone's sadness. It generates that much energy, so that you have to be careful. So instead of waking up saying, oh, I'm sad, I miss, or, you know, I didn't get that job, wake up with it positive, even if you don't feel it. The whole point is that the affirmation gets your brain to start believing, and once you believe, you achieve. Remember, conceive, believe, achieve. It's the same thing. A thought, the thought is to conceive, the believe is the word, the speaking, the affirmation, and the achieve is the manifestation. So it's the same thing.
Well said. All right, I tell you that with that, it's 35 minutes after, or almost basically run out of time. And I want to thank Patrick, Mr. For calling in once again with his insightful input in terms of the discussion this morning. Patrick, going to give you 30 seconds. Anything you want to wrap it up with?
Wow. Inbox Media Group. Check out Super K. This coming Sunday. I think she's dealing with joy. So definitely keep it locked to the Ruler Brown Network. Palace, you know, is a great program. Need to talk to you more about that, Ruler. But, you know, just keep it locked, man. We're doing a magnificent work in a magnificent way. And if we keep it up, you know, at the end, we will receive our magnificent pay.
Indeed. Before we go,
IMG.
But yeah, don't go ahead. But before we go, again, folks, Super K is 8 years old, and she did a Mother's Day presentation, and I tell you, it was powerful. Last week you were here, man. I'll take another 30 seconds out of the time. What's going on with a mango contest? I tell you, you know, it's a big.
I actually am in touch with an attorney down in Jamaica right now, trying to get it through the, you know, get it copywritten, and getting it done. We're looking, I'm actually in, you know, talking about conceiving the thought and putting it into action, right?
Right.
Down in St. Elizabeth, we have offered to do it at Little Orchie, which is a fish spot right on the beach in St. Elizabeth. They're looking for us to use that as the venue for the mango contest next year. It's either there or we're going to have it in Montego Bay at a place called Pier 1. So the ball is in motion.
Nice. Love that. And I'm glad you're taking action to make something happen, and you're going about the right way, trying to get the legal aspect of it out of the way because it's your thought, your idea, and you want to make sure it's protected. No, hey, I would suggest, we're having our awards the third Saturdays in August. So next year after the Palace Award, see if you could have it to be right half around them time. I don't know, just an idea. But, so that if a bunch of us are down there for the Palace Award, we could come down at the contest because we want to win the money too.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. We just have to make sure that mango is in season during the time.
You're right about that, the mango season and around them time. The mango season
we have to make, it has to be done during the mango season. But right, whoever wins, we could definitely, the awards is going to be, given, and we're going to promote it on the radio and all the various networks. We're going to make it big. We're going to do it big.
Now yourself, man. Make sure me eat the first mango. Give me a worm mango thing. You want a mango worm? If the mango don't have no worm, nobody give me to eat it.
You want a worm mango?
Hey, how you mean,
what we might do is put a blindfold on all the contestants and let them eat the mango blind.
Hey, look, man, that can be a great contest because you could start it off with the young kids, 5 to 10-year-old. Make them get back in the rules because a little part of them kids and I eat mango like me and you when we lick a bit. I eat mango.
Right.
Hey, a brilliant idea, man. I will know it's going to work. So blessed love for you for that one, all right? And thank you once again for coming on and joining Empress T with your input. We look forward to your input every week. All right, thanks again.
All right, yeah, man.
Empress T.
Be good.
Empress.
Yes, thank you.
Take it away, Empress.
Yes, I love that Patrick calls in and, gives his input because not only is it from a male, it's from someone else so that you can see that, these things really do work. And like I said, whether you believe it or not, they're in effect. But the trick is to harness the energy. The energy is flowing, it's being used. You got to tap into it. And the only way that you're going to tap into these things is by knowing and by listening. Don't doubt, don't question, don't laugh, don't huff, don't puff. Just affirm. Start affirming. Change your life.
Well, Empress T, once again, man. Trust me, big award show again. You have any inkling as to what you'll be doing next week?
Well, I wanted to do an exercise segment. I had my sister, I need her to help me with it because she's been sending me these little exercises. And, we're getting up in age. And these are the things that are going to help us for the summertime look more than beautiful as usual. A lot of people out there on the beaches, and they could benefit from, a little toning up. That's all I'm going to say. So
it's a tone-up session, huh?
Yes. Most of it you'll be able to do from your desk, so that those who are headed to the Palace Awards will be fit for the beach. We don't want to come out there and misrepresent. You know what I'm saying? We got to do the thing good. We want to look good, feel good, and be energized. And the only way we're going to do that is if we do the thing right. We got to do mind, body, and spirit.
Indeed. And again, if it's a Friday, it's a sense of purpose and it's a high frequency. Once again, thanks to the one and only Empress T.